Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Haunt Talk. In today's episode, we are going to be reviewing Factory of Terror in technically Canton, Ohio, but it's like on the outskirts of Canton. It's closer to Louisville, Ohio, but it's still technically Canton. This has been in this location for quite a few years. Now, they used to, years ago, be inside the old Hercules engine factory, which, was a cooler ambiance because it was like a creepy old factory, but then they found another factory that was in Canton and they took over that one. This was quite a while ago. I guess we haven't been there for a couple of years.
Yeah.
We may have went in 2020. I'd have to go back and look at the videos, but yeah. So one of the things that definitely drew us is we heard there was a new theme this year. Like the last one is completely redone to be themed pirates, and they have bars now, which we'll talk about when we get into the review. They have they've always had one bar, but now they have, I think it's a total of 5.
Yeah.
So that's fun. But again, we will talk about that later. Before we begin the review, we do all the normal stuff. Do like and subscribe and leave us a comment, especially if you're one of the people that never leave comments. Let us know you're there. We like to hear from you. Also, me and Kim are wearing, I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, but we're wearing our Haunt Talk shirts, which you can order now. I'll also put the little thing up now so you can see, because you can order in hoodie form, like mugs, totes, all that kind of stuff. So that's cool. Check out our Patreon to help support us, and also think about leaving us a super thanks. It's basically like a way to give us a tip. Helps support the channel and all the different places we go to give you honest reviews. That being said, we're going to get right into the review, which means, as always, it's time to refer to the Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Alright, so as always, we are going to start off with sets and props. Now, Factory of Terror does have 5 different themes.
Yes.
I believe it's 5, yes.
Yes, it's asylum, I guess, would be the first one. There's the industrial.
I think it's called Industrial Nightmare. I'm trying to see if they have...
If they have it listed, maybe.
If they have a list of each one. I know they used to. And they definitely have the list of all of the bar names, that's for sure.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
There we go, attractions.
Okay.
So there's the bars. So 1300 Lost Souls is the first one. But yes, so that one is the one that you start with. Now, years ago, this one was almost like a little mini entry haunt, but it has developed into a full length haunt as well. But yeah, it doesn't. I think it really kind of sticks to asylum theme for the most part. But there is the mirror maze that's in it. There's a thing that kind of looks like you're outside of almost like a church or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one, you can said it's the first one you go to, and you're going to see, kind of what you would expect to see, lots of, hospital beds, stuff like that. There's quite a few things this year that got us wet, like sprinklers that were turned on and stuff, but yeah, they have the courtyard with that. And this kind of ties into Scare Factor, which is later, but one of the most ridiculous things that, of course, got me, and I swear to God, every single air cannon in this place, they have the most ridiculous air cannons. But this thing was some kind of cannon that shot maybe
nitro?
Nitrogen or something. Yeah, because it was freezing cold and just blasted me in the face. I actually had a hoodie on, and it completely put my hoodie off and stuff like that. Yeah, made my glasses crooked on my face, and I'm like, what on earth is going on? It scared the actual shit out of me. Yeah, whatever that thing was, that was fun. And then we went to, this one does have the mirror maze, as we mentioned earlier, which we actually got lost in for a while.
Yeah, we did get lost. Well, there was a group of us. There was 3 different groups that all kind of were following the same person, and we all just kind of were like, wait, this is the beginning.
Because typically this one is a little bit shorter, but I time each one. We were in this one for almost 10 minutes, and I think half of that's probably being lost in the mirror maze.
Well, I used to be able, because when we did the documentary, I know we went through that quite a few times, and I was kind of okay, you have to watch the floor, because that's how you can tell where the maze, where the mirrors are and where it isn't. And I was doing that, and I just totally got screwed around. I just...
Yeah. Sorry, we had a slight pause there to we forgot to turn the pumpkin crap on.
Oh my God.
But so I don't know exactly when to talk about it, so I guess maybe we'll back up a little bit. So this year, one of the big, besides the new haunt at the end, which of course we will get to that later in the review, because we like to kind of, at least for sets and props, go in order of the haunts. Yeah. They have a bunch of new bars. So before they always had, what was it called? French Quarter at the factory. Yeah. This one's been there for at least the last 3 years, I think. Mm-hmm. But now there is Carnival Bar, Poison Ivy's Greenhouse, of course the French Quarter one. Oh, wait. Okay, well, actually, the bar there is called the Forsaken Bar in Bourbon. The French Quarter is, like, that's where it's at. And then there is One-Eyed Jack's Pirate Bar, and then one at the Axe, which we didn't go to. Mm-hmm. So we did go to, so we went inside of, and I'll insert a picture here of the Carnival Bar. Of course, it is themed to clowns. We didn't get anything to drink there.
No, but each bar, it seemed, had, for the most part, had a signature drink as well.
Yes, I think they all had at least one special drink only found at that bar.
Yeah, so this one had like a cotton candy drink.
Yeah, it was like Rotten Cotton Candy, I think was the name of it. I forget what was in it. Now, we did go to Poison Ivy's Greenhouse. So the Carnival Bar is before you go into the haunt.
Yes. Poison
Ivy is still before you, is when you're in the building, but it's before the very first haunt.
Yeah.
And so we did get drinks there. I didn't get the specialty drink there, and I forget what it was at this one, but I got the poison caramel apple or something like that, the poison apple drink.
Yeah, there was poison apple and then Screamsicle.
Yeah, Screamsicle is what you got.
Yeah.
They were both really good, and they were $8 a piece, and like if you are someone that likes to drink, they also have $5 shots. The drinks are really good, and they made them fairly strong. Yeah. I really liked the way the Poison Ivy Greenhouse looked inside.
Yes.
The set design and the props in there were really cool.
Yeah. I want to say it's probably, I think besides the pirate one, it was probably my favorite bar.
Yeah, I think the pirate one, which I think we'll talk about that a little bit later in the sets and props, because I think that's the only thing I can think of, but the bars seem like almost such an integral part to it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't drink, because I think the only one that's 21 plus is the Axe Bar at the end. Mm-hmm. That's the only one you can't go into unless you're 21, because they have like water and Gatorade. I would highly recommend at least going into them because they're just really cool. All of them were really neat looking. So even if you don't plan on getting a drink, because they'll give you like a free cup of water if you want as well. So if you need a drink, it's awesome. You could just kind of like chill out between each haunts. Mm-hmm. So that is really cool. We really like the Poison Ivy one. We'll talk about the other ones we go to when we get past those haunted houses. So the next haunted house after the whatever we were just talking about. Yeah,
1300.
Yeah, 1300 Lost Souls is going to be the Industrial Nightmare.
Yes.
So this one is one that they've had for quite a while. It is factory themed.
Mm-hmm. And it seemed like they kind of changed things up a little bit because I don't recall like it being that. Like I remember some parts and stuff, but it seemed like they changed it up quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it's hard because I mean, they definitely changed the facades because like the facade of the first haunt. Used to be the facade of the haunted house themed haunt.
Yeah.
Whatever. I think it's called like Massacre on Mahoning. But now that one has a different facade. Mm-hmm. And like the way you enter these things I think changes sometimes. It's weird. And it kind of confused me. Yeah. But yeah, it's been a while since we've been there, but I definitely remembered some things. Like there's this cool room where you walk through where it looks like you're walking through like a pipeline type of room. Mm-hmm. And there's like a grate you walk over that blows that cold stuff on you like it did directly on my face in the previous haunt. There's another shower thing there. There's a cool like scene at the beginning where you're walking through a whole bunch of like lockers that are all like dilapidated and they're opening and closing.
Yeah, that's really cool. There's also they have like these big tubes hanging from the ceiling and you have to kind of make your way through the big tubes.
Yeah, towards the end they have mirrors. It's not a mirror maze per se, but there's mirrors in there, so it's kind of hard to tell. It makes the room look huge.
Yeah.
And kind of hard on how to leave. Mm-hmm. And the actors will kind of mislead you, of course, and makes you in that room longer as well. There is, I don't know if this is there before, but there was a real cool, like, I just have it as a sewage room, kind of like what 100 Acre Manor has, where there's, like, running water and, like, a sewage pipe, and you have to walk across it, which I thought was cool.
That was really cool, yeah.
There was, I believe this was the haunt, because there is, also, you do these haunts in sequential order.
Yeah.
It's not like you get to choose, which I actually like it this way, because it also... And also with the bars now, there's like in between haunts, there's like rest zones almost. Like, okay, you did the haunts. Now you can like choose to just go right to the next haunt or just relax and chill in the environment for a while.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they had I think this one had the truck. Like, it was like an old, almost looked like the Jeepers Creeper truck
Oh,
that
yeah.
came out.
Yeah.
Of course, scared us. Because one thing is me and Kim partook in the libations, and when you've had some drinks, haunted houses are more scary, apparently. So take that information for what you will. I also noticed, I remember, there was more fog than I remember, which I liked, because it made it really hard to see.
It was very hard to see. I was actually really kind of surprised, because, usually Factory didn't have that much fog, and they had a lot.
They did, yeah.
It was just... It was very disorientating.
Industrial Nightmares is one of the most unnerving ones, because they just have sounds of Factory, and there are, like, actual, like, there'll be, like, mannequins inside, like, old Factory and being, like, squished and stuff like that. And, like, it is, like, it's not close enough. They have it in a way where you can't, like, reach out and get hurt by it.
Right.
But, like, it is, like, real factory equipment that they've, like, animatronic-sized.
Yeah. And it's also, like, very loud in that one.
Yes.
Because of the fact that, when you go to a factory, most everything's made out of metal. So you have, like, lots of metal banging and noises, and it's a really loud haunted house. But it's very effective.
It is effective. It makes you, like, really unnerved.
Yes.
Yeah, it really makes you unnerved. And, like, a lot of those electricity, crickly crack things.
Yeah, half the time I'm doing this, like, walking through, like, when's it going to happen?
Air cannons are just so loud in all of the haunts, but, yeah. Yeah, we really liked the Industrial Nightmare one. Not too much different than I remember. There was, like, a puppet or two in there that wasn't working, unfortunately. Like, there's a room where you walk around a bunch of, like, barrels, and some look like they're falling on you, which is cool. But there's usually a big rat puppet who made its rat noises, but no one was piloting it.
Yeah, he was just kind of chilling.
Yeah, he was just chilling. But let's see. So the next one would be the New Orleans themed, which is called Lafayette 13.
Yeah. And it is very New Orleans. You walk through, like, a big old cemetery.
I think you start off in a crypt.
You start with a crypt, and you actually walk through two coffins as your entranceway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it slowly becomes, like, more bayou themed. And I think, because if I remember right, they used to have more of a cemetery, but now it's more like you're exiting a crypt and going almost like into a bayou, because there's a big cemetery scene in the next haunt.
Yeah.
This one, of course, does have a laser swamp. That was pretty effective. That was pretty cool. It's weird, though, because I'm not skipping ahead, but the pirate one, this one and the pirate one were very similar. This one was just better, but, like, there's very similar elements, because there's also just this horrible, like, dark section. And what I mean by horrible is like, so scary. I don't like dark sections very much, but, like, I don't want to talk too much about actors right now, but, like, it was just creepy. Like, the ambient sound and people whispering in your ears. And there would be, like, abrupt, like, things that would turn on, or, like, air cannons in completely dark hallways that and it would scare the shit out of you. Like, oh my God. But yeah, they also had some really cool shacks. One thing that I know Kim mentioned when we were going through is that it was hard to differentiate certain props if they were actually an actor or not.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, there was a few times where I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm just going to walk past you and hope for the best.
I think this was the one, I believe, yes, that had the old destroyed church.
Yes.
That was cool.
That church was really cool, because it was, like, literally, like, the steeple was, like, falling into the church.
Yeah, through the roof. Yeah, it was neat.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, I really liked that. Yeah, it's a bunch of, like, dilapidated shacks, like, very on theme, except for maybe the dark hallways, but at least the dark hallways were effective in this one. And then you come to the middle bar, which, like we said, was the, oh God, what's it called? Yeah, the Bourbon Street one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Forsaken Bar on Bourbon, yep. So we got a Hurricane there.
Yep.
For only $1 more, you can get the souvenir cup. It's only $9, and I feel like it's quite a bit more to drink.
It was a bigger cup.
At this point, we just shared drinks. We're like, we're not going to get our own separate. So that drink was really good. I do recommend that one. The Hurricane was a good drink and also strong. Also a really cool area. They also had, like, you could get your fortune told in this, like, area.
Yeah, they actually had, like, a witchy shop, like, set up where people were selling their wares. Like, they had some really cool candles and crystals and things like that you could purchase, and then they also had somebody who was doing tarot card readings.
Yeah, I thought that was really neat.
Yeah.
The whole area, and I do have video of this, so I will be inserting it, but yeah, the whole area was really cool, and they've had this before, but I think I don't know if it was this year, but they've definitely improved upon it from what I remember.
Yeah.
They've added more to it.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping, since they have all these bars now, that if they do a Christmas theme haunt this year, that they have like Christmas themed drinks and they like decorate the bars.
Yes.
I think that'd be cool, and I definitely am curious if they do it to check that out.
That would be very cool.
So next up would be Massacre on Mahoning. This one had a pretty cool. One thing I kind of wish was there's like a cool scene, but we weren't instructed when we were entered to like stand and watch it, which I think we were supposed to.
Was something, and they just kind of let us keep going.
Well, yeah, it was. There was like a fireplace, and you walk.
Yeah.
There's like a couch. You walk around, and then there's a fireplace with like this mantle, and above the mantle there's a picture and what's actually a screen, and there's like this girl, and she like burns the two parents alive, and then the fireplace starts to smoke, and then because we like, okay, it's done, because we weren't told to stand there or watch or anything, and as we're walking, the whole picture then falls towards you, and the fireplace then just blows a ton of smoke out to like jump scare you, but we had already walked past it, so yeah. I don't know if people, I would think that like you should be instructed to like, you know, stand there, maybe another actor then come get you after that happens, because it seems designed that way.
Yeah, it should.
It's like a little pre-show.
Yeah, like almost like they didn't have an actor to put there, but I would assume maybe they were supposed to have one there.
I don't know, but that was cool though.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think this was the one that had the weird beehive in it. There's this one does.
Yeah.
It is haunted house, but it kind of does whatever it wants here and there because, like I said, there is a cemetery in the middle of it. Mm-hmm. But you have like your dilapidated kitchen. This one also, at one point, there's a spider cave system. A lot of the spiders were not working because they used to like jettison out at you. But
yeah, they were. Yeah, I thought I wasn't remembering really good, like, because it's been a few years. But yeah, I was like, I don't know if these spiders are supposed to.
Yeah, they definitely used to like slide out at you and stuff and light up. And there was a puppet there that wasn't working. It was still cool though. But there is an actor, which we'll get into later, which did help that scene since none of the props seem to be working in there. The cemetery is really awesome in there. It was part of the documentary. You've seen it hasn't changed much, but they actually have dirt in there. They have big, giant bat animatronics from the ceiling. And I will say some of the props in here did actually get me a few times. They hide them around stupid little corners. You'll turn all of a sudden they're spraying water in your face or something. Like right in your face.
Right in your face.
One of them, I remember I ate like a ton of water. It was like in a dark maze or something. Something exploded, and it came at just turn. It shot me right in the face, and then I screamed because of the loud noise, and it's bleh, right in my mouth.
I felt it in my hair, and then I heard him
felt it inside of my
scream, and he's like, I just got a mouthful of water, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, so that was fun. That was fun for me. But yeah, it was also a really cool... there was like a really cool haunt with a lot of theming. There was an actual fridge you walk through after the kitchen that is actually cold. That's neat. Yeah, and then the last haunt is the pirate-themed one called The Abyss.
Yes.
This one, unfortunately, was a pretty big letdown because, like, on the website, it really did make it sound like it was going to be, like, very heavily, like, pirate-themed. And, like, what is it even? Let me, if I can read the excerpt. We've transformed our fifth attraction into the unknown depths of nature. Be transported into a murky swamp, a pitch-black maze, and then the deep ocean towards a faraway port where you'll have to run in with undead pirates. Okay, that's literally exactly what it is. So, I guess the website, but I know, like, their Facebook posts, like, they said something like you've never seen before, and so I was really expecting quite a bit from it. But no, well, that description is literally what happens.
It really is, yeah.
You walk through another laser swamp.
Yes.
This laser swamp was kind of fun, though, because they had these weird heads that would just, they would just pop out. Like, not actual actors, like, just pop out.
So, like, when you go to the Haunted Mansion and you're in the cemetery scene, and just behind the little tombstones, they just have these little heads. That's all they had through there, and it was so effective and great. I loved it.
If you've watched a walkthrough of the tribute store for Universal this year, the heads look just like that. But they actually go bloop, and they pop out. There is a cool little snake. I don't know if it was a puppet or an animatronic, but it was coming out at us. And then, there's... a decent amount of dark mazes. This was the shortest haunt for sure. This one only took us like 6 minutes to get through. While the other ones were closer to 10. But now at the end you do get your pirate thing, which I mean this part is cool. I don't want to take away. It is really neat. They have a big pirate ship and there's cannons, and a couple of them have, of course, the murder air cannons that they use. So the cannons shoot you, and then you walk in the ship, and they even have like screens inside the ship that makes it look like a kraken's attacking it. And then I think you walk onto like the deck and there's like kraken tentacles. Yeah,
because one of the actors in there was like telling us to beware of the kraken and stuff like that. And then you turn the corner and there's a bunch of tentacles just kind of coming at you.
And then it just kind of ends. There was, at the very last thing, was like a shark puppet or animatronic. I think it's the same one that 100 Acre Manor has.
I think it is the same one.
So it's Bruce. And he just comes out, and then, and then you are dumped out into the last bar, which is the One-Eyed Jack's Pirate Bar, which I have video of this as well. Yes. This bar was the best. And this was the only one that I noticed that the actor or the bartenders were themed.
Yes, yeah, they actually did have pirate costumes on, which I appreciated because it kind of put you more into it.
Yes, and this one also had they had 2 specialty drinks at this one.
Yes,
they had. I actually have a picture of the menu of this, and I'll put it up on the screen. But that was when I was searching for that. They had the Get Ship-Faced, which is what we got, because we didn't want the other one, which was in a minute. But it was it's a fishbowl, but it's like a mini fishbowl. It's really adorable. And then they had the Kraken's Curse, which is $10, and it's a 32-ounce souvenir bucket that you can get right before you, I don't know, go drive home. So have a DD.
Or throw axes, whichever one you wanted to do, because the axes were right across the way.
Yeah, so that was fun. We like to get ship-faced, but yeah, I really like the way this bar is themed. Again, even if you're not drinking, make sure to walk in there. We also have a bunch of cool photo ops.
Yes.
As you walk out, a lot of cool things there, and I really like that. And they have a gift shop, and the gift shop here is really reasonably priced.
Yes.
So definitely check that out. So sets and props, we liked the majority of what we saw. I wish there was less dark hallways, and that last one really was left a lot to be desired, because really it felt a lot like the New Orleans haunt until you got to the ship, because literally the New Orleans does Black Room Swamp. This one does Swamp Black Room.
Yeah.
And besides the heads popping up, it felt very similar in the way that it was structured. So I'm hoping that, I really like the theme of the pirate show. I'm just hoping that in years to come that they maybe get rid of the laser swamp and the dark rooms and like maybe do something else. I don't know what exactly, but maybe like you're on an island going to like a haunted like pirate island or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I would like to see that. For sets and props, we gave them an 8.5. So moving right along to actors.
All right. So, there were actually a fairly decent amount of actors in here. I know we've complained quite a few times when we go to Factory of Terror that there's never enough.
Because, Factory of Terror is so huge.
It's so big.
It's a very large attraction.
They would have to employ, like, hundreds of people if they were actually going to have,
They probably do, but it just doesn't seem like it because...
Yeah, you have, like, 5 haunted houses. And
most of them being, like, full-sized haunts.
Yeah, so but there was a lot of really good ones that stood out for me. I do remember there was a very short woman that
I knew you'd mention her.
Scared us because it was just kind of funny because, I'm 5'1", and she was shorter than me. Like, she came up to my chin, and she just came up to me and was, like, looking up to me, like, trying to scare me, and I'm just like... It did. It kind of startled me a little bit.
She just, like, flew out of the curtain at you. They had, like, quite a few good hiding spaces.
Yes.
A lot of them were interactive, would like, talk to us, and they'd, like, follow us for a while and, like, just, like, say things. And, again, so much is going on, I don't remember a lot of, like, different things they said, but there was a lot that was interacting with us and, like, asking us questions. My favorite actor interaction of the night was I mentioned that guy that followed us. I think it was through the caves.
Yes, it was the spider caves.
Okay, so this guy followed me for, like, the longest time, a couple minutes, and just being weird and just, like, smelling me and stuff. And then when we get into, like, this kitchen scene, the lady in there talks to whatever the actor's name was, and she's like, what are you doing to this guy and all that? And she's like, why are you following him around? And he's like, well, he smells nice. And she's like, all right, let me see. And she comes up, and she's like, you stand right there. And then she just, like, sniffs me for a while, and she's like, yeah, I see. and then Kim finally gets in the room, and she says something to Kim, like, along the line, this is so random and strange, along the lines of, why is she with me? Because, like, my beard's not big enough. And then she's like, as my shoes say, and then she holds one foot up, one foot says beard, and the other foot says season. And she, like, kicks her foot kind of up so Kim can read her shoes. Like, what?
I'm like, oh.
What the hell?
What?
Like, how could you forget that moment? Like, what a weird...
Season.
I mean, it was so funny, but also so creepy because I just had 2 people sniffing me from back and front. I'm like, oh my God. Like...
He got followed a lot.
Yeah.
Like, there was constantly people cutting in front of me, and I'm just like, have at it.
Yeah,
Do
like,
what you
because
want.
even when, like, because, like, we kind of took turns, her leading and me leading, and, like, when I was leaving, they would, like, just basically kind of push her out of the way and just follow me.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, but it was cool. And then there was this one room, I think it was, like, a crypt room. I don't remember which haunt it was, but I think it was on Massacre on Mahoning before the cemetery scene. But we got, like, 4 back-to-back scares.
Yes.
Because,
oh,
like,
my gosh.
We, like, walked in, and there was one actor that, I think it was an actress that was, like, glowing, and she, like, ran off, like, purposely so we could see her, and then ran off. And then I think it was, like, a different person scared us 3 times, and then I think she got us at the end, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, because she was in one spot, somebody else was in another spot, and then they switched up, and they, like, went into, like, a wall or something, and came out at another area, and we're just like, where are they coming from?
Yeah, it was a crazy thing, too.
Really good.
A lot of their hiding spots were literally just an entire wall they would just open. Like, they just open the wall and be there. And it's like, oh, like, and you can't really, and it's hard to see with the way it's lit that, oh, there's a seam in this wall, that it's a door. And all of a sudden the whole wall opens and
the
there's an
whole thing
actor.
open. Yeah.
And there's a lot of times where an actor would double scare us. There was, like I said, there was some dead space, like in the one maze, I think Industrial Nightmare, where there's like the strobe light maze. There should have been more there, but there was like 2 times where we got really good. One actor scared us real good twice in there, I remember.
Yeah. It's just so disorientating because, it's strobe lights, it's metal, like, wall, like fencing and stuff like that, and you just don't really know where you're going. And, it's very easy to get really good scares in there.
Let's see, who else did we have? I mean, like I said, a lot of them were really good. The pirate at the end, he had a lot of dialogue, because I had asked him, like, about the Kraken, and he had this, like, whole spiel, and I really liked how, like, this was their opening night, by the way, and it was real slow, so, like, they hadn't had a lot of time to practice, so, like, whatever Factory of Terror must do, they must have a pretty good, like, training thing, or these people are actors that have worked there a lot.
Yeah.
Also, what I could tell, the costuming seemed really good.
Yes.
Because a lot of them, again, were in a place, like, there were the people that would just pop out and rah you, but, like, there was a lot that then would do that, but then follow you, so you really got to see them. And the makeup work and costuming, I thought, was really good. Because there's also people, even though you're sitting having a drink, like, they might come up and try and scare you and stuff, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, and like, they had, like dialogue where they weren't just saying boo or eek or screaming in your ear. They were actually trying to, like, interact with you, which I always appreciate.
Yeah. But actors, we were very happy with. We gave them a 9. Just wish there was, we like to say we wish there were a few more, but, like, I understand that Factory of Terror is just gigantic.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, one we didn't mention. We kind of mentioned earlier, but yeah, the creepy people that stand in the complete pitch black mazes, and as you walk, will just, I can't see them, but I assume they just go up to your ear and they'll just whisper things at you and just scare the crap out of you. And I'm like, because a lot of times I was so scared of the air cannons, I had my ears plugged, but I could still, like, whisper just loud enough where I'd hear something like, ugh, like, get out of here. Like, no. So other haunts do this, but the guy that was on, like, the weird bungee harness thing.
Oh my gosh. He got so... I was leading at this point, and he got, literally, his hand was this close to my face. Like, and that's, like, that. Like, it was there. It scared me so much. And then he bounced over me.
Because I kind of chuckled,
him.
and he kind of looked at me as he was flying back. And then, he flew out, was over Kim, and then did the same thing to me. And I mean, like... Yeah, I thought he was going to just, like gorilla my face off. Like, but yeah, actors, like I said, for the most part, we really liked him, and that's why we gave them a 9. So, on to Scare Factor. Not much we haven't mentioned already. A ton of terrifying air cannons. That they also have to put in the dark hallways, so you can't see it all.
And we still didn't find it, but there was, like, a real cannon somewhere in this building that just randomly would go off. And we don't know where it's at. If you work there or if you know where this is, let us know in the comments, because it would just random intervals. Like, we first walked into Poison Ivy's and it went off, and we're just like, oh my gosh, what is that? Because it was so loud. And the bartenders are like, yeah, it's random. And we don't know when it goes off, and
or
it's
where
awful.
it is.
Yeah.
We thought it was going to be part of the pirate haunt. Thank God it wasn't,
Yeah.
because it's actually a lot quieter by the pirate haunt,
Yeah.
than the beginning at, like, the greenhouse. So yeah, I don't know what that is. I feel like they may have had this in the past. I'm not positive, but yeah, it's terrifying. You're just like, drinking your drink. You're like, oh God, I'm going to try not to like throw my drink up in the air when this cannon goes off. Yeah. But yeah, the actors, like I said, were very aggressive. They definitely get in your face and they follow you around. Decent amount of gore in this one.
Yes.
Not the goriest thing I've ever seen, because they don't have like a slaughterhouse theme, but like with things like, you know, the factory machine, like crushing people, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, not like over the top gory. I have been in years past where they will do like some touching at Factory of Terror. I didn't experience any touching this year.
No, they got really close, but
Yeah.
I didn't get any touching. Yeah.
Yeah, because they've never done it a lot, but I mean, one year I went with a friend and they literally picked him up and like carried him away, and I'm like, oh, there he goes. So like, I don't know if that was just the thing that they weren't supposed to do but did, but yeah, so I'm not sure. But yeah, we thought it was pretty decently scary, especially if you partake in their drinks, you probably get scared a little bit more. We gave it an 8.75, and yeah, just the atmosphere as well, like with the sounds and stuff of, especially Industrial Nightmare, just will really unnerve you.
So that's moving on to value. Now it's $30 or $35 for general admission. It depends on what night you're going. It's $12 to get the fast pass, which on a busy night is actually worth it, because this place does get really, really busy. And then it's $15 for the bar crawl, which is actually you just go to the bars. You don't actually get to partake in the haunted houses, but you can add that onto it if you want to as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because the bar crawl is specifically for that, but I think that the bar crawl does allow you, if you want to go into the last haunted house, I do think you can go into that one. I think I saw that somewhere.
Oh. There it is. Zombie bar crawl. Enjoy access to all 5 bars inside the haunted house while bypassing the haunted attractions themselves.
I don't see it on here, but I could have swore I saw it somewhere on one of their Facebook posts, but but yeah, I found that interesting. Also something that I kind of forgot about that I did read earlier. I read earlier in the season on their Facebook, but they changed it, I guess, is that originally it said you were going to be forced into groups of 8, basically, no matter what. They were going to conga line you, kind of like what Universal does and stuff like that. But I guess they decided that that wasn't a good decision, because I saw someone else complaining about it. They're like, no, we actually changed our mind. We're not doing that. That's why it's not on our social media posts anymore. So if that's something you happen to see, you don't have to worry about that. I guess they decided that they don't want to do that. So that's good. They do have something called VIP Immediate Access Admission, which is $65. So if it's a real busy night, it's not even a fast lane, you just literally go to the front of the line. But it looks like you have to choose a time slot. And it says includes admission to all 500 attractions and access to all bars except Bullseye's Axe Bar. So the only way you can get into Bullseye Axe Bar, I think, is if you're doing the Axe or if you do the Zombie Bar Crawl.
Yeah. That's
the only way to actually get into that one, because it is, I think that one's 21 plus. You can't enter unless you're over 21 for that one. They also have, which I find funny, it's called ticket insurance, which is $3.95 extra. So that way, I guess if like you don't show up for your ticket, maybe like you're fine. They do charge to park here, except on Sundays. So it's $5 on Fridays for general, $6 on Saturdays, free on Sundays, and if you want reserved parking, it's $10 or $11. Oh, $11 if you do credit.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they also do offer a season pass here, which it's $150, but it also includes Akron Haunted Schoolhouse and Laboratory. So there's all your prices. We really only but there are some perks to it which you can look up as well. It looks like you get like 50% off if you bring people up to 4 guests per night.
Oh wow,
well, that's not actually bad. So if you live in the area and you like going to these, that's actually not bad, especially if you plan on bringing a bunch of friends.
Oh, you get off-season ones too. Wow, that actually might be worth checking it out if you really like.
Yeah, because off season. Yeah, so what she means by that is like the Christmas of Easter.
Yeah, because Factory and Schoolhouse usually do like Christmas, Valentine's, St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah,
I believe
one of them. They all like they don't both do it at the same time.
Yeah, they do bounce around and stuff. But that would be worth it.
Yeah, so that might be worth it. So you might want to look into that. But value, we gave it 9 because the haunt took us 15 minutes to get through, and we feel like 50 minutes for $30 or $35, depending on if it's, a peak season Saturday, is a pretty reasonable price for all the entertainment you're getting. It took us 50 minutes for the haunts. We were there for over 2 hours because we wanted to enjoy. And of course, you're going to pay extra for the drinks, but we felt the drinks were reasonably priced.
Yes, very reasonably priced.
It was just fun to sit in the atmosphere. It probably won't be as good on like a peak night because now they do have an adequate amount of seating, I feel like, for most of the bars.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you might go on a night where it's so busy you might not be able to sit down. Mm-hmm. But I do think they did a good job. I mean, like, each bar is, like, literally a full-sized bar.
Yeah. Yeah. And, like, you don't have to necessarily get, like, it looked like they had, like, regular, like, alcohol. So if you wanted to get something that wasn't on their, like, menu.
Yes, I think some are full-service bars. They might not all be, but I think some are complete full-service bars. Yeah. Because then they also have shots and stuff like that for $5. But, yep, so we think value is really good. So the only thing left is our overall score, which we gave a 8.75. So yeah, overall we really liked the event this year. Yeah. We liked the addition of all the bars. I'm just really hoping that they improve the pirate one, make it a little bit more. I really like the ship in the end section, but the front part, even though I like the creepy weird little heads that popped out of the laser swamp, you already have a laser swamp earlier on. I prefer if it was something else, just entirely so hopefully that's in the plans for the future, but yeah. They did a lot of improvements this year with making all of these different bars and stuff like that, though. So, have you been there? What did you think about it? Feel free to comment below and let us know. Let us know if there's anywhere you want to see us go. And, we should also be having a review for Fortress of Fear, which is less than 15 minutes from Factory of Terror.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good one. Make sure to check out the review for our full opinions on just that pretty good. But, there's also lots of other good ones you can watch on the channel, like Ghoul Brothers is close to this, where you're talking earlier, Akron Haunts Glass in the Laboratory. Even Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse isn't that far from here. So lots of options. You can really, if you start early, you can really make yourself a night of going to all these places. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you also ring that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming future videos. And we will see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.